Piece of advice to the NDP if they're serious about growing strong again in Canada, okay? Today is the 13th. You have advice? You have some feedback as well, or what is it? You want to give it? So, first, the reason Trump won is the same reason that Carney won. Because people were brainwashed easily, because that simplifies everything, to believe that it's all about the economy, economics, the monetary paradigm that you guys seem to believe is what life is about. The issues that are real and that cause and will continue to cause your economic problems, which are very secondary side effects to what the real issues are, which are related to the human condition, are not being addressed. So let's say the NDP decides this is what we're noticing with surveys, with data collected, with consulting with scientists, sociologists, Statistics Canada compiling the data they collect in ways that maybe was not compiled before, is we're finding that our culture in Canada, our proto-society here, I don't know if you'll be brave enough to say proto-society, underdeveloped country as social creatures. I don't know if you'll be brave enough to say this. Like here, they're not brave enough, right? In Prince Rupert. Here they blame me for criticizing them for issues that were here long before I got here, right? Here I see businesses of locals that, let's say they lose a mechanic. Instead of supporting a young person to become a mechanic so they can offer mechanical services at that place again, is they don't do it. They don't fix buildings. There's money laundering, man, you wouldn't believe. Change makers, oh my God. When did their mission statement ever get applied by the person that created it or anybody else there? It's just moving money around, right? How can you not realize that, when you go to the hospital here or to other places that are public servants and you realize how there's a lack of care and concern for others, except for maybe their familiars. And then their familiars are still not getting top-notch services or kindness because that's not something the human condition is good with anyways. So all these issues have to be addressed. I mean, was I treated so badly at the Dollarama because there was a cruise ship on that day? And maybe the young indigenous lady who was in charge on that day that I'd never seen before, did she assume I'm an American coming on a cruise ship? I don't know. Like, it was so appalling, the behaviors and how they were not, that's not okay by other customers or by other staff that are familiars there, whether they work for a Coca-Cola company or whatever, is all these things is not about tariff wars. So if the NDP can say this is what we're facing, when we admit this, that there's something wrong with the way we're kind of domesticated to allow the devolution of our cultures, when we address this, when we address what Team Canada really looks like, not just this politician suddenly shaking hands with this politician, that's not Team Canada, okay? So, it's first saying climate catastrophe issues have not been dealt with already, and it's going to get worse, and it's not being discussed enough if you're connected to reality. The devolution of our species up here, and how there's no systems meant to fix it. I mean, look at the Canadian. I just did a vlog about dental work, and they talked about what's going on with the Canadian plan. I mean, I might be just raising my hopes up by compromising my issues and applying to get money back from my taxes for 2024 when they owe me a lot more from the last decade or so. And just to maybe get on this program that requires me have done my taxes and that I might not even be accepted. So there'd be two poor person dental plans to cover for a crown. Now here's the mental illness. I could audit my file with Blue Cross that violates my human rights through the BC Ministry of Poverty Creation and say how much money was moved between you guys, the insurance companies, the service providers, the dentists, and whoever else, and then add to that my expenses as a poor person to get to places or to convince a dentist to see me and give me a quick fix, how many times the same tooth, just one, over the last decade was spent, and what is the cost of a crown that could have been done? And you'll see the developmental disability that even economics, they can't get it right. Even to save money, they can't do it. They do quick fixes as problems grow. So if the NDP is serious about being leaders and not being about tariff wars or all the ridiculous conversations like defending our borders, or, and I'm not saying it should be ignored, it's just not the priority. It's just not the priority anywhere around the world because of what's wrong with our species. Let's address what's wrong with our species and see that a lot of these issues that we are putting in the forefront will naturally go away or be solved more easily once we address our issues as a species. Is the NDP brave enough to connect to the reality of the human condition to build themselves strong in that way?